Some years ago in the valley of Malot, whose air was thick with the scent of goat, and the eyes as far as they could see opened on hills of rare beauty, and a pleasant mass of village houses, flying flocks and pretty spouses, free from slag heaps and hooting machines, screened by woods and sloping greens. It had youths and maidens skipping on the glade, no sign of woe their cheeks displayed. The light of the country, those virgin girls, of deep blue eyes and wavy curls, with birds in the morns such notes they sung, plastering on the walls the cattle dung. Here, by a quiet, mucky road, our hound held his sorry abode. Homeless he lived with a limp in his feet, with gloom in his eyes and nothing to eat. And upon his snout the wrinkles told he must have been nearly a decade old. Drearily he looked at each passing man, a bike, a car, a truck, a van, looked at the lot with doleful eyes, then cracked a smile and looked too wise, then wagged his tail and curled his mane, and rolled in dust but rolled in vain. The world went on, no care it had. The poor old cur they thought was mad. But one gay morn in a cheery mood, a sick old man came there with food. He saw the state the dog was in, and something stabbed his heart within. The man sat near a silent brook, and gave the dog a cheerful look. The dog in doubt lifted his head, his spirit was broken by visions dread, by yells and squeals of the men in the street, by bricks they lobbed or the kick of the feet. Loud urchins of the town whacked his snout, he hid in the drains, yet they searched him out. Years ago, when less tedious life had seemed, and his coat was sleek, his eyes like rubies gleamed, and naivety informed him he can, in moments of panic, reach out to man. But in time he knew this devilish place was meant entirely for the human race, and now he's here by this sloppy road, holding on his own a sorry abode. But this man, skirting by a silent brook, shot down at him a tender look. In all his years there never came down so gentle a soul in Malot town. He sat there a while picking his food, hot mutton flesh, barbecued. The hound he gathered was grey and grim, and while he ate had noticed him. With that he whistled a call for the feast, and the hound had throttled like an African beast. Tamed in the street, familiar of danger, how could he honour the greeting of a stranger? Yet from a stranger like that who would drift apart? It's the sort of virtue that melts your heart. For weeks and months they strayed together, up and down in country weather, through open fields and shallow mire, through weedy paths and shady byre, through ponds rattled by boggy waters, where sometimes played the village daughters, through mizzling rain and sunlit dew, old trails that now to them seemed new, camping beneath a spreading oak, bound by fate in a splendid yoke. He'd heave at him a knobbly tinder, and lobbed some meat burnt like cinder. The man, it appeared, had lived alone, his bride was dead, his kids were grown. Two boys who in the city had made a life out of a humble trade. But such is life, all luck is brief, all joys fleeting, what's left is grief. One day the man had fallen ill, hushed in his room lying still. His two boys from the city had made some time out of their humble trade, and found their man with wheezing breath, slipping into a certain death. All cures employed to save him failed, his eyes were puffed, his face had paled. Outside, the poor homesick dog lay listless, bleached with evening fog. Starved by the house where he slept, thought of his master and inaudibly wept. And when the time had finally come, bruised and broken his soul was numb. The world about him mourned the loss of one who gave his life a toss. In all his years there never came down so gentle a soul in Malot town. His Keith and line, once all tears were shed, left forever for the lives they led. But the poor hound, so listless and sad, had lost the only friend he had. And of that hound it was fondly said that round the dead man's grave he found his bed.